Akwa Ibom State Governor Umar Eno has defected to the All Progressives Congress APC, citing Enlightened State Interest to align with the federal government. However, his move has been met with significant resistance. 15 members of the State House of Assembly, alongside prominent figures like Barrister Emmanuel Eniodem, International Coordinator of Maintain Peace Movement, and Comrade Ini Emiebong, Commissioner for Special Duties and Ibom Seaports, have refused to join him. Many of these individuals are loyalists of former Governor Udom Emmanuel, a PDP member. Emiebong resigned, stating his decision was based on politics with principles and his long-standing opposition to the APC. Eno Idem, a former PDP National Legal Advisor, echoed this, emphasizing political consistency and discipline over personnel. Over personnel gain, though he reaffirmed continued support for Eno's administration despite their differing party affiliations. The governor had previously instructed cabinet members to either defect or resign. The full extent of support or condemnation for Eno's defection within the state remains uncertain. But let's hear from you first, Mr. Frank Enyawechi, on this decision of the Akwa Ibom governor to defect to the APC, and then the fact that most of his loyalists decided not to join him. What does this make him as the head of the state?
Well, first of all, it's very, very unfortunate the way politics is played in this part of the world. We learn, according to Nigerians, we learn from American democracy. We learn from American presidential system. That's what they tell us. And that's what we have studied, or we are studying in our schools when it comes to system of government. We learn from America. So if America is changing, becoming scientific in everything, actually we should not even go to the manual. We should be, because there's no car that is produced in America now that we don't use in Nigeria. Yeah. Nothing that Americans are using that Nigerians are not using. Even customizing their vehicle, we are using it also in Nigeria. So what happened in Akwa Ibom State? For me, I feel that it's a personal interest. To defect is not a sin. It's a normal thing. But the way we do in this part of the world is like making caricature of a democratic experience. That's the issue. If not ordinarily, he has the right. But again, being a governor, you are under a political platform. Like he has issued his statement to the public. You can resign if you cannot move with me to the next party. It's all about his personal interest, not just the interest of the Akwa Ibom people. It's how to safeguard his political future. For me as a Nigerian, I feel worried when we are destroying what we may call the tenets of democracy in terms of the way democracy is practiced. In politics, it's allowed for him to defect. In politics, no doubt. Because even in America, they defect, but not on a massive what we call a landslide movement. It's about you. But now the structure of the state, we have a problem. Like now you've read, some lawmakers did not move with him. So what do you think will happen? There will be a political imbroglio in the House of Assembly, which they will now use the state apparatus to see out like what you have in River State. It may happen here. Because now, since the federal government controls every security apparatus in terms of police, DSS, and the rest, what happens to the lawmakers who will say we're not going to move with you? You hear some suspension. Maybe 4 out of maybe 20 out of will say, oh, we have suspended these people.
So actually he said that if you're not going to defect, you should resign.
No, I mean the lawmakers.
Okay.
I don't mean the position. No, okay. Like we've heard of the Ebong, the other Emabong has resigned. Okay. No, that's to do it honorably, no doubt. But what about the lawmakers cannot resign? They cannot resign because they have been elected to serve the State House of Assembly to enact laws for the people. So if they cannot resign, it's not his duty to he doesn't have that right. But what he will do, he will manipulate it. He will now, I'm saying what, as if I'm accusing him now, he will now manipulate the system to see how to cage the lawmakers.
Okay.
And to undermine their own rights or privileges in the House of Assembly. So that's my worry.
Let's hear from Barrister Ndamdi if he agrees with that statement that you made when you said that this defection is for his own benefit.
Yes.
Because you're saying that it's not a bad thing to defect.
No, sir.
But you're also saying that he's doing this for his personal gain.
Yeah.
Do you agree with Mr. Nawaji on this, please?
Yes, of course. Considering the antecedents of the typical Nigerian politician, it's all about self, and it has never been about the people. Okay, so Governor Eno's decision to defect to the All Progressive Congress, you see he has now moved the mandate of the ordinary Akwa Ibom man to the APC. But that does not reflect what the people out there want. It only reflected what Governor Eno wanted, because he is doing that to secure his political future. And
so in that essence, are you saying that anyone that wants to secure the next tenure or the political future, the future in your word, you have to defect to the APC if you are on the opposition party? Is that what you're trying to say that in that way, Barrister Ndamdi?
Yes, let me clarify this. Like I said before, considering the antecedents of politicians in Nigeria, defection in Nigeria have never been out of collective interest, or it has never reflected the will of the people out there. Rather, it only reflects what the defector stands to achieve. And we have seen in this country where even most of the politicians were accused of corruption, but they defected to the ruling party and they became saved. We have it on record. The whole world heard it. People watched it, and people are still referencing it. When a big politician in Nigeria defected, Adams Oshimole made a comment one time that when you defect to the All Progressive Congress, that your sins will be forgiven. And looking at the trend of defection, the wave of defection in Nigeria currently, it is looking like that. Because most of the people who have defected are people who, one way or the other, have questions to answer. So I am not really surprised that Governor issued that warning, because it was a stern warning to his appointees in government that it's either you are defecting with me or you resign. But Governor should tread on a safe path, because that mandate belonged to the Akwa Ibom people. Who knows? Has he made a good decision for his political future, or he is trying to tread on a dangerous thing? Okay. 2027 will show that.
Barrister Ndamdi made a statement where he said it's a pattern, the defection trend. Yes. In that instance, that was what he said. Yeah. You know, do we have to say that Nigeria is actually getting to that one party state where, like he said, Adams Oshimole said, come to the All Progressive Congress and all your sins will be forgiven? You know, because if I'm politically inclined or have to make a quote, you know, there's something that if government has to function, there has to be opposition parties, you know, in order to question your ability in governing the people that elected you or appointed you into office. So if there is no way, let's say it gets to a point that most of these defectors or most of this governors get to join one party, is that actually going to be a chaotic situation?
Definitely, but it is not an ideal situation. Ordinarily, the purpose of opposition is to be like a watchdog, to criticize what the government is not doing well. Because see, opposition is not just a bad thing. Opposition is like watching any mistake that the ruling government will do and use it to work against, because there will be an election here, whether you believe it or not. It is your mistake. Like what happened, you know, I follow politics over the world. one of the things that made Trump to lose election that he contested before coming back this second time was the way he handled COVID-19 issue. Because I could remember Obama, who was like a very strong ally of Joe Biden, shouting in every campaign, COVID, 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 like a song. That was a tool. So in Nigeria, there should be a tool that the opposition should use to see how to weaken the ruling party, so that come next election, you use it as a factor to see how to convince the people to believe in you. But here in Nigeria, the way we play our politics, the opposition also does not see even anything right. Like if the ruling party does what is right, oh, you are right this way. They don't do it. They don't do it. They look, anything that government does is bad, which is not also good. Yes, politics is about propaganda, no doubt. And again, the body language of people in power, everybody must belong to the ruling party, which is so dangerous to a healthy democracy. Because ordinarily, opposition must be on ground. But in our own case, so first when the opposite party, you are a strong enemy that should not even live in that same nation. And which, in a way, those who are in the other party are not comfortable because government will use the ruling party, like my brother has said, will now use the apparatus of government to chastise those in the position, even when they are clean. Even when they are clean. They will make sure that they find fault. You know what is a lawyer? When they say gross misconduct, it's a blanket statement. It's a blanket by law. Anybody can use anything as what you call gross misconduct to see how to nail you to the wall. So being in a position in Nigeria is that you are like in hellfire, because you don't know what. I have not been to hellfire, but nobody has gone to hellfire. But it's an assumption. That look, you cannot be at a position in Nigeria to even walk in the same streets with the governor, with the president. You cannot also tell the president that what you have done is wrong. I remember
so when you're in the ruling party, do you have the ability to tell the president that what he's doing?
You cannot. At that point, you are playing sacrifice. Like what we are seeing happening in America now. Elon Musk is a very strong ally. Just as he said about a week ago that he made Donald Trump to win election. He said it, and he called Donald Trump bill as what? Abomination. That cannot happen in Nigeria. That you are in the ruling party, you now have the effrontery to even challenge the president. So before even you want to, even they observe that you have the body level to challenge. Yes, you see, DSS would bring what you call trump up charges against you, so that you cannot. They will not hear your voice. So that is why everybody is afraid to play the position in Nigeria.
So that means you agree with what Barrister
that's what I'm saying now.
Okay, this defection process is for most of them that have any question.
Before, even when you don't have question, when you don't have anything in your cupboard, they will frame you up. Even when you are like a popular candidate or popular person in the opposition party, they will frame you up. I'm a Nigerian. So it is not a good thing, ordinarily. That's why everybody wants to belong to where they can do anything. EFCC will look the other way. They can do DSS. Look at what we are discussing today. Are we supposed to be talking about 2027 as if campaign has started? He's going out. Today is time to mortgage the future of our Kogomites.
So you agree with Barrister still? I'm still referring
I am
to
not
that.
disputing. No, I'm not here to this. We are talking the same thing.
He's toiling with the future.
That is it. Because one, he thinks. Let me use the part. He thought the people don't have that capacity to make him governor. That is only belonging to the ruling party, who is also in a way controlling the what? The agency of status that is controlling the nation. So the mandate is not for the people, it's for the agency of government that now he belongs to, will make him to win election. If ordinarily, if he knows that the people can make him to fail election, he will not leave PDP. Not anywhere.
Let me hear quickly from Barrister Damsey. You made mention of the same thing Mr. Nawaji said, where you said the de facto actually does that in purpose of, wanting to shadow himself from questioning, when they have cockroach in their cupboard in that instance. I actually wanted to ask a question quickly. Is it that the immunity sustains these people for a period of time? Let's say you're a governor and then you have questions to answer over the gross misconduct, like he stated, and then because you do not want to be questioned, you defect to the ruling party, then there will be no questioning for a period of time. Or I just want to understand what is going on there, because I know that, like he mentioned, the United States story, the ally between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, that Elon Musk still questioned Donald Trump's authority, saying that the decision he has taken is actually an abomination in that instance. There is still questioning going on there. But when it comes to this part of the country, it's like a different situation altogether. How does that bring us out there as a country?
Okay, thank you very much, Idema. The defection in Nigeria basically is born out of factors that I will tend to be corruption, and also the lack of confidence in the electionary process. The electoral process, Nigerians do not have confidence in the electoral process. That's why you see politicians, they shift from one party to the other. When they see that the political party they currently belong to, it's lacking in capacity to deliver them in the next general election. When we say deliver them in the next general election, we know the typical Nigerian situation. It's always believed here in Nigeria that any party in power will always have its way. They will manipulate the process. They will instruct the electoral umpire on what to do. The apparatus like the police and other security agencies are in their palm. So that's exactly a factor that makes politicians move from one party to the other in Nigeria, because the electoral process, Nigerians do not have trust in the electoral process. We do not have trust in the characters that are manning the various states as resident electoral commissioners. We do not have trust on those that will declare the result, the professors. The professors ordinarily that are impactors of knowledge and character. But you see them during the election, they take bribe and they do otherwise. So all these are factors that are encouraging politicians to have their way. See, like my brother here talked about opposition in other countries. Let us use South Africa, our neighboring country, as a typical example. Opposition is thriving very well in South Africa. Everybody has free speech. Everybody can make any statement, take any decision, so long as it does not negate the security of the country. You understand? You have right to question the acts and omissions of the leaders. But here in Nigeria, political opponents are gagged. Voices are gagged. If you come up with ideas that are not in tandem with what the ruling party is doing, they will send the attack dogs on you. That's exactly the situation here in Nigeria. Nobody is shying away from it. We both call a spade a spade. The reason why politicians in Nigeria jump ship are one. It is either corruption is brewing around their table. They know that EFCC will soon be on them. That is one factor.
So for that period of time, they have immunity. So you're saying that ruling parties and immune.
No. At that point, don't forget because some of them are governors. They have immunity. You can't touch them.
As a governor already,
okay.
Yes.
But their fear is this. See, I'm very close to politicians. I'm very close to highly influential politicians in Nigeria. So I know how political leaders think. Let me tell you, the average Nigerian politician is not even thinking of 2027. So many are already thinking 2031. I can tell you for free. So they look at all factors that can hinge their arriving at that place. So they look at the situations like, am I wanting in any way? So they pinch tent with the ruling party. So when that time comes, nothing will stop them. Then another factor like we posited before is the electoral process. They know that the electoral process is flawed. It can easily be manipulated. We are all typical here of what happened in 2023. How results were manipulated. At some point, the IREV and other engineer technological facilities
glitches
took over. So what we are saying is simple. If we have genuine electoral reform in Nigeria, I can challenge you that so many politicians will not even win elections in their ward. So many may not want to jump ship. So that's just the typical situation of what has happened in Akwa Ibom. And I believe that the Akwa Ibomites will decide the fate of Eno in 2027 because the power truly belongs to the people, even though in Nigeria that power have been restricted. But I believe someday the people will truly get his power back.
All right.